Hey there, welcome back. So today we will discuss about Dequeue. Now, what do we mean by Dequeue? Dequeue stands for double-ended queue. Now, in a general queue scenario, it is a FIFO list, first in, first out. The remove operation is done at the front of the queue and the insert operation is done at the end of the queue. This is the usual scenario and this is something which we have already seen. As the name suggests, the double-ended queue has two ends. As a result, the insert operation could be done both the side, at the front of the queue or at the rear of the queue. Likewise, the remove operation could be performed at the end of the queue or at the beginning of the queue as well. Usually, the beginning or the front of the queue is known as head of the queue and the end part of the queue is known as the tail of the queue. Alright, so let's proceed further and check Eclipse. Now this particular program is the exact copy of the previous code and pretty simple program though, where we have a queue and then we are simply displaying the values in our console. Alright, so in place of queue, we will make use of Dequeue. And in place of array blocking queue, we will definitely make use of a Dequeue. Oops, we need to make use of a linked Dequeue, maybe linked Dequeue. Here we go. So this seems to be good enough. And alright, and now friends, without making any change, let me execute the program. Our program will work properly. Let me remove the unwanted imports and let me do one more thing. Let me refactor this program a little. In place of queue, let me rename this to Dequeue. Alright, so this seems to be good enough. Alright, so now we have this program. Now friends, as Dequeue is a double-ended queue and we can perform multiple operations at both the ends. As a result, we have some special methods. Now usually if you make use of same methods as queue, then Dequeue will perform exactly same as queue. So there won't be any issue. You can perform add operation. Add would be performed at the end of the queue. You can perform remove operation. Remove operation would be performed at the front of the queue, and you can also make use of offer, element, peak operations. There is no issues. Definitely your Dequeue will perform exactly as queue, but definitely we have some special methods which can help you out. Now here are the special methods. Now in here, for insert operation, insert could be done at the head of the queue, which is the front part. We can also insert at the end of the queue, which is the tail part, right? So we have add first method, which will add the element at the beginning of the queue, right? Likewise, we have add last method, which will add the element at the end or at the tail of the queue. Likewise, we can also make use of offer first and offer last method, which will return some special value. Likewise, we have the remove operation. By making use of remove first, you can remove element from the head of the queue, or you can also make use of poll first. Likewise, in order to perform the same operation at the end of the queue, you can make use of remove last and poll last method. Finally, we can also do the examine process or examine operation by making use of get first, peak first methods, or get last or peak last method for head and tail ends respectively. So these are the methods, which is pretty simple and easy to understand. Now friends, when it comes to collections, the most useful collections are your list and your maps. So these are the most widely used, and the usage of queue, sets and stack are comparatively low. So that's one thing, and definitely you guys can practice more about Dequeue and deal with queue and Dequeue. Definitely let us try to check a couple of methods real quick in order to get this topic completed real quick. Now moving forward, we have this Dequeue ready with us. Here we go. So let us perform some operations. So usually the add operation is done at the end of the queue. So now we will be adding an element at the front of the queue. So let me do that. So I will type in Dequeue dot add first, right? And we will add, for example, 0. Alright, so this is cool. And usually the remove operation is from the front of the queue. So using Dequeue, how we can remove from the tail of the queue, let us check. So I will type in dequeue dot remove first. Pardon me, remove last. So we will remove from the last of the queue. For example, we remove this particular element 7, right? So we will call the remove last method, which is cool. And once we perform these two operations, let us rerun the loop. Alright, so this looks good to me. And if I execute the program after operation, what are the changes? 0 is added at the front of the queue, which is perfect, and the element 7 is removed from the end of the queue. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys understood the point, and I will suggest you guys to play around with Dequeue and try to understand and play around with all the methods which are given in this documentation. In order to get this documentation, simply Google for Dequeue Java and you will get this documentation, which is very simple. And try to play around with the methods which are available. Try to code some interesting projects that will again help. So saying this is all for today's video. Thanks for watching.